Hello, hello. Welcome back to the show. I am sitting next to the one and only Mr. Mike DeRose.
Well, I mean, I hope you're not sitting next to anyone else in this small space.
So we're jumping on today to chat all things masterminds. But before we get into exactly what the topic is, I want to preface this episode by just saying, I believe, and I think you would probably agree, that masterminds are hands down the best way to create powerful networks and really collapse time when it comes to moving the needle in your business.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think about the growth that we've had. I mean, you've been in Mastermind since 2014. Yeah, it's crazy.
So long ago.
And I think what we've spent probably over 300,000 on Masterminds, which on the outside seems crazy, but when I think about how it's helped propel our business, it absolutely just makes sense.
Yeah. And the ROI, the return on that has been, so much larger. So one of the things that I've noticed in being in masterminds and just putting myself in the room is that the most successful entrepreneurs, they're not waiting to make decisions when they get there. They're actually creating and making decisions from where they are right now for where they want to go. So they're not reacting in their business, but they're being proactive in their business. And I can tell you that the biggest transformation that I've had in my personal life, in my business growth, it has actually come from getting in those rooms, the rooms that I didn't think that I belonged in. And I wanted to puke. And there have been so many times that I felt like an imposter. I mean, I've shared the story before of the time I was crying on the bathroom floor at a mastermind because I didn't think I belonged, but I absolutely did belong. And it just takes a little push. Yeah.
Oh, do I get to announce it?
Yeah.
No, you announce it.
Oh, no. Well, the thing that we're really excited about is the doors, or the application, I should say, to our year-long Digital Business Evolution 2023 Mastermind. The application is officially open. And so we're going to tell you a little bit about it. And if you're feeling the nudge, you're feeling the pull, you are craving something like this, then I would deeply, deeply, deeply encourage you to apply. So I want you just to imagine high-level strategy from industry experts, the experts that we've literally paid to get in the room with, ones that you might not have the ability to have access to otherwise. We're going to be bringing them in virtually as well as in person. And with the in-person, that's the thing I'm most excited about. We are hosting 3 in-person live retreats throughout the year, February, most likely June, and then October. And those in-person retreats are going to be where we get to dive deeper in our connection with one another and being able to brainstorm together, go on adventures, do things that are to pour back into your cup, because as entrepreneurs, as coaches and creatives, we're always pouring into other people. So it's to stop and take a pause and make sure that you're also learning and having the opportunity to get poured back into. And of course, the community, that's the best part of a mastermind. So being surrounded with like-minded leaders that are going to help hold you accountable, they're going to stretch you, push you to dream a little bit bigger and support you along the way. So like I said, if you're craving to be in the room, to get in a room that maybe feels a little bit uncomfortable, but it's where you want to go, it's where you want to end up, and you want to be a part of our team really, and linking arms and locking arms with us to run through 2023 together, I encourage you to get your applications in, because seats are limited and this is a carefully curated group of people. So we do take the application process seriously. And if you want to chat about it, you can always get your application in and then we'll hop on the phone.
Yeah. And last thing I'll say is it's November 5th as we're recording this. We haven't gone public with the mastermind. There's a few people that I think know about it, and there's already 3 spots that are taken. Now, I will say there's not going to be 5 total.
Yeah.
But we are keeping it relatively intimate so that people can get the most out of both the blend of what they're going to get from each other, but also the experience that they're going to get from our team and the ridiculous guests that we already have planned for 2023. So I'm really excited, but let's dive into the episode.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the theme of masterminds, we thought we were recently having the conversation of, what is it that we talk about and think about or ask ourselves when we are choosing a mastermind or choosing a container or a coach. So Mike and I just had this conversation. Like I said, Mike said it's November, which means we're already thinking about what we're going to be doing in 2023. And so we came up with 6 things that we really do take into consideration time and time again when we make these types of investments. So we're going to walk you through those 6.
Yeah. And what's cool is this came about because someone was asking us, like, guys, I don't know what to do for 2023. And, how did you decide the mastermind that you were joining? And we were like, that's interesting. We do have this process that we go through. So we were like, all right, let's just share it with everybody. So
yeah,
let's go into the first one.
So the first one is, does the room and the investment stretch you? Does it make you uncomfortable? And like we were just saying, is it for where you are right now? That would be comfortable. Or is it for where you want to go? That's usually the one that makes you kind of want to puke a little bit. So that very reason could be the thing that holds people back. When it is scary and you feel like I don't belong in the room, I don't have a lot to add, or the investment feels a little bit bigger than what I think is comfortable or possible, then that is often the very reason that you remain where you are and you remain kind of stuck where you are. So we always ask ourselves, does the investment and the room, the container, the people that are going to be in there, does it make us a little uncomfortable? Does it stretch us? And is it something that we can sort of grow into? Kind of like a shark in a tank. Did you know that sharks grow to the size of their tank?
I've heard that. I don't know if it's true.
I don't know if it's true
DM me
either.
and let me know if it's true or not. The other thing I wanted to mention is the ROI. And the ROI with masterminds, oftentimes I would say all the time. I'm just going to say all the time. The biggest ROI you get from masterminds is an intangible. And that is the network.
Yep.
And the experiences that you have, right? It's not like you're going and you're saying, I'm going to spend X and I know I'm going to get Y and I'm going to be able to either hold it in my hand or it's going to be, a digital product, something like that. That often makes people freeze.
Yes.
Right. So quick point about, does the investment stretch you? You don't want to obviously be financially irresponsible.
Yes.
However, there is a fine line and you definitely want to be saying to yourself, man, I am a little uncomfortable with this investment, because otherwise, like, you most likely, and this is in most cases, there's oftentimes you pay for things that just aren't what you thought they were going to be, right? But we're talking about integrity, and most of the time you're paying for something. And if you're paying to get into a room, you do want to feel a little bit uncomfortable, because otherwise, like you said, if you're comfortable, it's for where you are right now. You want to feel that discomfort because it's where you want to, it's who you want to be in the future and where you want to go.
Little fish in the big pond.
That's right.
It's really easy to stay the big fish in the little pond.
That's right.
Can I throw like a curveball question at you? I didn't preface this I didn't tell you I was going to ask you there. So I know you're not a financial advisor or a CPA, but I am wondering, because it's a common question, is there like a certain percentage of my revenue that I should be spending on something like a mastermind? How do I figure out what is an okay number?
That's a really good question. I'm not going to throw a percentage out there, right? Because then I know that there's people that'll take that too literally.
Yeah.
But this is what I'll say. Two quick things about this, and I'll try to go as quick as possible with this. So a lot of times people think of newer entrepreneurs, I would say, and maybe not even newer. Sometimes this is an important mindset shift for those who consider themselves experienced. They consider some things that they're business expenses. They align it with their personal expenses, which they really shouldn't be doing. And what I mean by that is, especially with a mastermind, they might look at it like, oh, well, if it's X amount pay in full, or if it's say $2,000 a month payment plan for an entire year, that's a lot. I have rent, I have dog food, I have Netflix, I have car payments, I have all these things. And I would challenge you to look at it separately, because you should be. Look at it separately and say to yourself, okay, what do I need to do in my business to be able to make this investment? Because I know it's going to grow my business. And the other point that I'll make is, and this is my personal belief, and I know that there's other entrepreneurs out there that believe this as well, but you should be reinvesting the profits back into the business. Now, that being said, I know that we take our team to Vegas and things like that. If we have a big, when we have launches that, exceed our goals, this, that, and the other thing. However, we're investing back profits into the business and into our development and into ourselves and into our development. So you have to kind of look at it like that, in the sense where there needs to be an allocation of funds so that you're reinvesting back in. And we're not talking about coach hopping or anything like that. And I know we're going to get into that, but we're talking about making sure that you're taking profits, or you're maybe even figuring out some sort of way, whether it's some sort of line of credit or something, that you're leveraging to reinvest back into yourself and into your business, so that you can get into rooms that stretch you and help you. That's the only way you're going to get those quantum leaps.
Yeah. And I think when we are oftentimes entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, we forget of a traditional corporate type of structure. I know even when I was a teacher, every year the district was forced to put money into continuing education for us, and the same thing for you in corporate. So when you can look at it as that, it's continuing education for yourself, and the best place to invest is in yourself, because the return on your investment is lifelong, and it most likely is a write-off too, right?
Yes. Well, it is.
Yes. Okay. Well, I
Absolutely.
didn't want to speak for something that I'm not allowed. So, all right. So that's number one.
I'm not either, but if it's continued education for the business, it is a business expense.
Awesome. And I love that you brought up that you're not like walking out with something in a box. And so when it feels intangible, it can sometimes feel scary. So it's supposed to feel a little scary.
Yeah, for sure.
Number two, I love this one. Are they, meaning the facilitator or the team, the person that's hosting the container, are they where you want to be? Have they built what you want to build? Have they built something similar or like a similar strategy or a business model to what you want to build? And this one's the real big kicker here. Do they have the ability to help you get there? And so I always use the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, but Bill Belichick has coached Patriots. Tom Brady, I mean, come on, you should know Tom Brady, but Bill Belichick maybe can't run or throw or catch like some of his players, but he can coach them to do what they do. So has this person or people built what you want to build? Are they where you want to be? Have they built something similar, or do they have the ability to help you do that? And I think that's both for us in business as well as their lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. When I think about when we made the decision to join the mastermind that we're in right now, and this is our second year in there, they have a business model that we aspire to kind of create as well. They can help with all sorts of aspects of our business, but there's also other parts of our business that they don't particularly do, but we know that they can help us with it because they have the foundations to be able to do that. Perfect example of their kind of where we want to go in a lot of aspects of our business. And I will just say, there's other folks in the room with us that don't have the same business model as us. But why are they in that room? They're in that room because they know that the people in the room and the person, the team facilitating the mastermind can help them get to where they want to go and build what they continue to build what they're building.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just really important. Number three, do they align with our core values? And really, this is multi-layered. Do they have similar interests? Do I want to hang out with them? I mean, you're spending a lot of time with someone, especially when you have the in-person aspect, which I'm so excited that we are bringing that back. And we'll have three in-persons, but you're spending a lot of time with these people, whether it's on Zoom or it's in person. You're being vulnerable, right? When you have a mentor or a coach, when you're with your peers, a lot of what we do in the masterminds that we've been in and that we host, a lot of it is working through some of the mindset blocks. And we talk about maybe the money or challenges in the business. And so are these people that you feel comfortable with, and do you align with their core values? Do you want to hang out with them?
Yeah, absolutely. And then the next one that brings us to this one, I love this one. Do they practice what they preach? Yeah. Right. So I think we can all agree there's a lot of fancy schmancy marketers out there, which marketing's great. But are they actually doing it? Yeah. Right? Do you know, like, and trust them? And are they actually doing what they say they're doing? And do they have the ability to help you do what you want to do? And quick point, and this kind of ties into one of the other points we made, but it's good for this one too. The mastermind that we're in, we're aspiring for 7 and multiple 7-figure launches, right? Not years, launches. And so it's important to ask yourself, are you having the type of launches you want? And if you don't want to launch, that's okay. Are you having the type of years or the type of results from your membership, or you're marketing your digital or physical product in a way that is hitting the goals that you want to hit? Is the room that you're thinking about joining, are these folks at a level that you are aspiring to be at? Right. So for instance, what are you on? 18? You've done 18 six-figure launches.
Yeah, consecutively.
Okay. So a question to ask, right? And I'm not saying that's definitely not the only factor, but you might say to yourself, hey, my launches are definitely not doing that.
Yeah.
That's an indicator to say, well, Jess isn't talking to me though when she's on Instagram and on the podcast all the time, but clearly she's doing something high level that's yielding these multi-6-figure launches pretty much on repeat, right? Yeah. So that's something to think about too, because oftentimes people may be they might be walking the walk, but you might not even know about it until you actually have a conversation with them, have a conversation with their team. Yeah. So that should be part of the application process where, you can actually talk to either the facilitator or their team to get an understanding of, hey, are they doing higher level strategy and higher level mindset work to help me be able to really blow out the goals that I want to blow out.
Yeah, I love that point. And with marketing too, it can sometimes be confusing, but it's the analogy of like the thing that draws you into the store from the storefront is not the only thing that they sell. And so when we talk about digital products, and I know our mentor as well, the majority of his content is going to his signature product, just like the majority of our content goes towards Empower.
That's a good point.
But we have been able to scale the team and the company in such a deeper way on the back end. And so to your point of getting on the phone or applying, it's really important. It's like, you think of Nike and you think of,
oh, sneakers. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thinking about something Empower.
But they sell a lot of other things than sneakers.
Yeah.
And Starbucks sells
coffee,
but they sell a lot of other things too. It's like, that's the thing that gets someone in the door or what they're known for. So practicing what they preach. And I love that you brought it up before too. The time we took the team to Vegas, it's work hard, play hard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5, who else is going to be in the room? Who else is going to be in the room? What other types of businesses? What other types of people? What are their core values? What do they have that they could teach you? What can you learn from them? What is their energy? With a mastermind, so much of the magic is in the room, and it's in who is in the room. It's not just the facilitator. We say it all the time to our clients. We are not gurus, not by any stretch of the imagination. I don't want to be on a pedestal. I don't want to be a guru. So who else is in the room that you're going to be allowed to or able to network with?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point too, in the sense of, when you just said the guru thing, something came up for me. Are they planning to spend time with you other than they're going to stand up at the front of the room and just talk and teach? Or are they going to,
so good.
Yeah, they're going to
get in the weeds.
I feel like we've learned the most when we've had those like quote fireside chat conversations with other members, with the person facilitating it, with the team facilitating it. But honestly, mostly other members.
And surveys we just got back from the retreat we hosted. Everyone was saying their favorite moments were around the campfire.
Yeah, for sure.
It wasn't even during like a
because they can have
sit down.
They can have those bonding moments, but they also can once the guards are down and everything like that, they can have those conversations about their business. And that's where the reason it's called a mastermind is because you think about it, there's all these, you're putting all these heads together. Obviously, amazing things are going to come out of the room.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah. And I love that, having the ability to get in there with us as well, not being a guru in the front of the room on stage, but we're in the weeds doing the nitty gritty. So we look for that too with our mentors.
Yeah.
And then the last and final one, I think this one is hugely important and a very difficult question to ask yourself sometimes. So we challenge one another. There are 2 of us and we'll challenge one another, but what type of value can we add to the room? And that's a tough pill to swallow sometimes. But with a mastermind in particular, there is this unwritten agreement that it's not even unwritten. You actually kind of sign off on it when you say yes to a mastermind. And that's what the facilitator is looking for. I know for us, when we're curating the room, it's how can these people come together and work together, and what do they all have to bring to the table? So number 5 is who else is going to be in the room and what can we learn and how can we network? And then simultaneously with the receiving, it's really important to do the giving, which we love giving. So how can we add value to the room? How can we help? What can we share? Who can we connect from our network to people that we're going to be meeting? How can we help bring those people together and make those connections? And I think that's really important.
Yeah, for sure. And, it's interesting because you don't know who's going to be in the room as far as participants.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of trust that the person or business putting it together is curating a room that is going to stretch you, and they're selecting you because you can add value as well. And that's why, we feel an application process is important. And if you see, situations where people are kind of just putting out their mastermind and you have to just buy it, I would use caution with that. I really feel that the discovery calls, as people call them, are just so valuable for you and for the business that's curating the room.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Well, there you have it. 6 things that we look for when we look for whatever room we're getting into, and things we consider. Does the investment in the room stretch me? Are they the person where we want to be? Have they built what we want to build? And do they have the ability to help me build that? Do they align with our core values? And do we want to hang out with them? Do they practice what they preach? Who else is going to be in the room? And last but certainly not least, how can I add value to that room?
Yeah, absolutely. And just a reminder, our application is open for our 2023 mastermind. I'm so excited too, because the last in person that we just did in October was incredible. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to bring some incredible strategy guests and an amazing network to you. So,
well, we hope that we get to lock arms with you, but let's have a conversation about it first. Find the application in our show notes. And as always, thanks for being here, Mike. But as always, cheers to your evolution. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you loved this episode, I invite you to be a part of our ripple effect and share it with a friend. And please, if you feel called, take 30 seconds to leave a 5-star review, and I'll be forever grateful. Until next time, cheers to your evolution.